to try and record some of this. Somebody asked me the difference between shadow and reflection and how they work together. So I thought I would show you with this. I have a cell phone and the flashlight on the bottle. And you see the shadow going to the left.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I move the source of light, the shadow moves. Where the shadow is dependent on where the source of light is. And the quality of that light. If I diffuse that light, like we have here today, there's no shadow, no matter where I take it. But if I uncover it, the cloud goes away, sky clears, then I've got a clear shadow. There's the shadow going to the left. Now I'm going to introduce a reflective element. A pond, a river, the bay. Thank you. And you can see that the reflection on the reflective element is independent of the shadow. I take the reflective element away, there's no reflection here at all. There's just a shadow. But if I bring some water or anything, a mirror, anything that's reflective, it will reflect between you and the object. Now, if you move to the left or the right, the shadow stays in the same place, the reflection moves. The reflection is dependent on where you are relative to the reflective surface and the object. The shadow is dependent on the light source. If I put something across that reflective surface that is not reflective, it reflects on this side and then on this side, but not where there's a non-reflective surface. You could be on the beach and the beach could have sand there that was dry. And on both sides, there were some little rivulets that had water in it, and you can see the reflection. If you have wind blowing on the bay, you may see a reflection of something across the bay on the water, but where the wind is blowing, it disrupts the reflective surface of the water, and there's no reflection there. And then the wind moves over here, and then it changes direction. And the patterns of no reflection on the bay change.
Don?
Yes.
So what if the light source was such that the shadow fell across the reflective surface? Then what do you get?
Let's see. Here comes the shadow. Watch what happens to the reflection and the shadow.
Ooh.
Now the bottle is backlit. It's overlapping the reflection. And so they look like the same thing. If I move it to one side, the shadow comes back.
That's kind of cool.
But notice how the shadow is dissipated on top of the reflective surface.
Yeah.
It starts over here.
Uh-huh.
Let's go to the other side.
But it also cuts through the reflection. So that, right, if you go, instead of being at 90 degrees, if you're at a 45-degree angle, you get both the shadow and the reflection at the, and the shadow's cutting across the reflection. It's kind of cool.
Yes. So if you are in line with the sun and the reflective surface and the object, you'll see just a silhouette.
Mhm.
Here that there's no reflection, but it's a shadow cast and reflection cast in the same space.
That's cool. I like that.
So if you see a big rock that's in the water, the sun will cast a shadow. This is a cast shadow,
Mhm.
and the water will reflect back depending on where that, let's say it's a tide pool and there's sand in between
Mhm.
objects, there will be no reflection there. The same thing happens if you have a house on land. You got to accommodate that land before you start the reflection in the water. Some people try to paint in the reflection here on the land or on a wall. It's not there. It's non-reflective. So that's all on that. Oh, thank you. If the light source is from above, you see how it disappears?
The shadow, yeah.
The shadow disappears. I'm going to move it just a little bit so we have a short shadow or a long shadow. But the reflection
Things the same.
stays in place. And then if I put the light on the object, the reflection is more vivid. Let me see. Okay, that's all. I can turn this off.